Wassenaar arrangement is an intergovernmental information sharing and standard setting forum for the purpose of promoting responsibility and transparency in international transfers of conventional arms and sensitive dual-use goods and technologies. It arose out of the former Coordinating Committee for Multilateral Export Controls, which existed from 1950 to 1994. After the end of the Cold War, there was an initiative to find a new forum that would look at export controls on a global basis to replace the old East-West focus, which was considered no longer appropriate. And the search for a new forum took a couple of years and culminated in a declaration which was issued in Wassenaar, which is a suburb of The Hague in the Netherlands, in December 1995. And that explains the origin of the name. The Wassenaar arrangement itself then became operational in 1996 with its seat in Vienna at the invitation of the Austrian government. And all the meetings since, except for one, have been held in Vienna, where the small permanent secretariat is based. There are, I would say, three main streams of work. One is agreeing collectively on the items that should require an export license at the national level. And a great deal of effort is invested each year in ensuring that the Wassenaar arrangement control lists are kept up to date and relevant. The second area is information sharing of both a general and a specific nature. For example, on transfer risks associated with conventional arms exports in different parts of the world, as well as national reporting of certain transfers and denials of exports to countries outside the Wassenaar arrangement. And the third strand of work, as I see it, is agreeing on best practices, guidelines, elements and procedures to guide national implementation of export controls. Bearing in mind that national implementation is, of course, a national prerogative. The Wassenaar participating states agree on certain standards, but they take all licensing decisions are taken at the national level. The Wassenaar arrangement and the Arms Trade Treaty have different histories and take different forms, but they share similarities of purpose. Both seek to promote the highest possible common standards for international transfers of conventional arms, while not impeding legitimate trade. The Wassenaar arrangement's focus is on promoting transparency and responsibility in licit transfers in order to prevent destabilizing accumulations of conventional arms as well as their acquisition by terrorists. The Arms Trade Treaty seeks to stop the illicit trade in conventional arms and their diversion to unauthorized end users or end users, including in the commission of terrorist acts. So both the Wassenaar arrangement and the Arms Trade Treaty seek to contribute to international security and stability by strengthening multilateral cooperation and confidence building among states. There are areas of difference. For example, the Wassenaar arrangement represents a political commitment and works by consensus. The Arms Trade Treaty is obviously a treaty-based organization. The Wassenaar arrangement covers not only exports of conventional arms, but also dual-use goods and technologies. And the arms covered by the Wassenaar arrangement constitute a broader spectrum than is envisaged in the ATT. I think despite their differences, the goals of the Arms Trade Treaty and the Wassenaar arrangement are aligned. And Wassenaar arrangement participating states are very open to sharing their experience and expertise with other countries, including those countries that are seeking to meet their ATT commitments. The Wassenaar arrangement has an active outreach program with the aim of helping other countries to strengthen their export control systems, and Wassenaar arrangement participating states are also active both nationally and regionally in export control related, in providing advice and assistance in that area. The Wassenaar arrangement makes clear, this has been clear since its foundation, that it is not directed against any state or group of states, and that its work does not impede bona fide civil transactions. I think the Wassenaar arrangement participating states go to considerable lengths in this respect. For example, it's reflected in their work on the control lists, where the technical specifications are set very precisely so as to subject only items of specific security concern to export licensing, while allowing other items to be traded freely. And it should be remembered that export control does not mean that the export of an item is prohibited. It means only that it requires a license issued by the competent national authority before being transferred. I think it's fair to say that the role of export controls in supporting international security, from which all states benefit, is increasingly widely accepted by the international community. I think UN Security Council Resolution 1540 and more recently the Arms Trade Treaty have played an important role in this respect. All countries benefit when items of security concern do not fall into the wrong hands, including those of terrorists, and are not used to undermine regional and international stability. And in terms of economic interests, I think more and more countries are seeing the benefits of having an effective national export control system in terms of facilitating trade, including their access to sensitive imports, enhancing their access to imports as well as to foreign direct investment. I think going back to the Wassenaar Arrangement and the Arms Trade Treaty, the Wassenaar Arrangement has, over the last more than 20 years, has built up a lot of a solid body of work, most of which is available on the Wassenaar Arrangement website and is accessible to any other country or industry, for that matter, that is interested in strengthening its export control systems. For their part, I think the Wassenaar Arrangement participating states will need to continue to use the Wassenaar Arrangement to further develop export control standards and enhance their implementation, thereby seeking to provide a lead by example to the broader international community.